All right, we are continuing to follow breaking news out of Washington. U.S. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has died. ABC News reports she was with her family when she passed this evening due to complications from pancreatic cancer. Ginsburg was nominated by President Bill Clinton and joined the High Court in 1993. She was 87 years old. We will have much more on Justice Ginsburg's life and reaction to her death for you tonight at 11 o'clock. First at 7:30, breaking news we're following here. The Cincinnati School Board has just decided it will end all remote learning and will move to a hybrid system for classes. The district is calling this a 1-2-2 plan. The first day, all students are remote. The next 2 days, one group will be in class while the other uses virtual learning. The next 2 days, those two groups then switch. We will also have a full update for you tonight at 11 o'clock. We want to go out live right now to WCPO 9 News reporter Jake Ryle, who is downtown where a group of protesters has formed. Jake, can you kind of set the scene for us?
All right, here we are, guys. We're actually on Court and Walnut. Watch out here. You got a light pole here. We've got the crew coming out. This is the Black Lives Matter group that is demonstrating here, peacefully demonstrating throughout the streets of Cincinnati. So far, they started out at the courthouse and they went up toward Liberty on North of Liberty.
Meanwhile, we have some breaking news into the newsroom. We've actually learned what led up to the death of University of Dayton student Michael Currin. This information just developing here. Moeller grad Michael Currin was found badly injured off campus early Sunday morning. You may recall he later died at the hospital Monday morning. School officials just announcing here that Currin had gone out to pick up some pizza, and at some point he accepted a ride from the driver of a pickup and rode in the back of that truck. Something happened, and Currin somehow left the bed of that truck. The coroner's office says he hit his head. We're going to continue to dive in and try to get some more details for you. Happening right now, the Gulf Coast bracing for Hurricane Sally. The storm could make landfall tonight or early morning tomorrow. This is a live look from Louisiana right now, where several counties are under a state of emergency as that storm approaches. You can still see people out there walking along the boardwalk, though. Thank you so much for joining us for WCPO 9 News on air at 7:30 and on your streaming devices. You know, Sally is now a Category 1 hurricane and comes just a few weeks after Hurricane Laura left a path of destruction along states like Louisiana and Texas. Sally is moving very slowly right now towards the coast, and parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama are under those state of emergencies, like I mentioned, with many being forced to evacuate ahead of the storm. People in the path of this storm are also bracing for torrential rains and historic flooding. 9 First Warning Chief Meteorologist Steve Raleigh is tracking this storm for us. What's the latest, Steve?
This is WCPO 9 News.
Developing as we come on the air tonight, President Donald Trump is back at the White House after several days in the hospital to treat COVID-19. These images of Marine One were taken just over 30 minutes ago. A team of doctors at Walter Reed said today that the president's health condition is continuing to improve, and that's why he was discharged today. President Trump tested positive late last week and was taken to Walter Reed on Friday, you may recall. He tweeted about an hour ago that he will be back on the campaign trail soon. Today, White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany and 2 other staff members in the press office also reported that they tested positive for the virus. Good evening, I'm Craig McKee. Thank you so much.
This is WCPO 9 News.
I never had faith in Daniel Cameron to begin with.
Amen.
I knew he was too inexperienced to deal with a job of this caliber. I knew he had already chosen to be on the wrong side of the law.
That is Bianca Austin, Breonna Taylor's aunt, speaking out publicly for the first time since a grand jury in Louisville decided to not charge any officers for Breonna's killing. Now, an attorney for the family is again calling on Kentucky's Attorney General to release the transcript of the grand jury proceedings in her death. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tanya O'Rourke. Thanks so much for joining us live at 7:30 and on your streaming apps. This all comes following the protests that erupted in Louisville and across the country. Law enforcement in Louisville is bracing for another weekend of unrest. Attorney General Daniel Cameron announced Wednesday that a grand jury did not charge 3 officers with Taylor's death. The grand jury indicted 1 officer. He's accused of blindly firing shots that penetrated the walls of a neighbor's apartment. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is also continuing his call for the release of the grand jury report.
It's about trusting the people of Kentucky. I trust them.
that if they have all the facts, the evidence, and maybe some explanation if needed, that they can process it.
AG Cameron so far has refused. Tonight, protesters continue their fight, taking to the streets in Louisville. Louisville's mayor extended the citywide 9 o'clock curfew through the weekend. We'll bring you any new information out of Louisville tonight at 11.
At the end of the day, the black life is always below others, and that's not right.
A powerful message from students at Xavier University. Students today held a Black Lives Matter rally. Xavier basketball coach Travis Steele and the rest of the team were there as well. They gathered in front of the Student Center carrying signs demanding justice for Breonna Taylor. A new stimulus plan, the number of dollars involved and when Congress could take its first vote on the plan to send you financial relief. Tracking COVID-19 in schools, the new program that will help experts figure out how well the measures to protect people are working. And take a look outside as this, oh my goodness, look at that sunset. Wow. So if you're planning your weekend, you'll want to stay tuned because Steve has to look at the forecast for the weekend and it's fabulous. Well, planning a forever home seems to be a new trend following COVID-19 pandemic. Why some young adults are deciding to buy a new house way before retirement.
A push to get the ball rolling. What Ohio State University could do to bring the Buckeyes back to the field after this year's football season got canceled. ROBOCALls, we all hate them, right? But guess what? They are on the rise in the state of Ohio. Tens of thousands of them have already been reported over the past few months. What you can do to protect your information coming up. The last chance for small businesses. After suffering major financial hits from the pandemic, business owners say the election is really their final hope.